Let me
Well,
record. We are recording here. Yay! Good
still in the
morning to
good
you,
morning.
Patrice.
I have missed you, my darling.
I know it's afternoon for me. It's 6 p.m. So I'm almost done with the day.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm just getting started. So,
Oh, can you imagine the all the time that we have by me being in Europe and you being in Easter time? We have so many times when we can catch up and reach out to our people, to the community. I found that super duper cool.
it is. It really so there is this week when I was meeting with some of our community members, I mean, we're going to put a petition together to maybe have a retreat in France since we have a place
We
to stay.
will. Oh yeah, the house of my parents' house, first of all, is home. So it's not even a house, it's a home. And it's huge. And so maybe we'll plant some tents if we're like having so much people. Oh, by the way, last Saturday, I don't know if you know that, but the first week in France, I was here. I know you know, but for the community, I was organizing my mom, her 70th birthday. And so we had to organize the table, we had to organize, the big tent, the food, everything, the decoration outside. And so it took us a week because we expected 80 people. We had music live, like live music and everything. So we turned the house into a big white party, and it was precious. It was white and fluorescent, and it was just like amazing, but it's a lot of work. And so yes, the house can welcome a lot of people. Even live music is welcome here.
Well, I guess we'll have to start thinking about that once you get back.
Absolutely. Anyway, good morning to our community as well. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where they are in the world. If you are live, please #live. If you are watching the replay, #replay. If you have any question, of course, we have the topic in mind that we want to talk about today. But if you have any question about what we're going to talk about or anything else, please drop your question in the comment section below, because we will reply. We will make time to give you our best suggestion. It's not that we know everything. We don't know everything, but we do have some suggestion, and we experience a lot of different things thanks to our community and thanks to us being the observer of life in general, and even like the tiny people to the oldest people in our life, and how life happened to them, for them, through them, or as them. So we kind of have some suggestion that we love to make if you want to receive. Before we get started about, with the topic of today's, I want to welcome our new member, Lindsay. Welcome, Lindsay. We're so happy to have you here. We saw your reply to the question, and you are absolutely in the right place. We're here to grow businesses in a very effortless way that brings a lot of intuition, brings a lot of the vision of the woman of your vision, as Patrice would say. And so you are in the right place. Absolutely. Thank you for allowing us to find you, or thank you for allowing.
I would say the universe, allowing the universe, entering that space, letting the universe bring us together.
So we're celebrating you, dear Lindsay. We're celebrating you today. Patrice, what do we want to talk about? I think you have like so many good examples about today's topic, which is, when you show up once with joy or with anger, you're just in a mood, right? We'll say with anger, because with joy we want the joy. But if you show up once at the restaurant with your family or at a meeting with your clients feeling angry, because you're not angry, you're feeling angry, you're not your emotion, we know that it's just a mood, right? It's just his for one day. If you show up for months, always the same way, angry, frustrated, it becomes a temper. You have a temper tantrum, and it's hard for you to let it go, to surrender, right? But if you show up with that anger, frustration for years, it becomes a personality threat. And the same goes with you saying yes or saying no or seeing possibilities or obstacles. So if you keep seeing obstacles, it becomes a threat of your personality. If you keep seeing possibilities, it also becomes a threat of personality. So how do you shift from one end to the opposite, to the polarity effect, to the duality of what you want to change? Because most of the time we want to change frustration. I don't want to feel frustrated. I don't want to feel fearful. I don't want to feel doubtful. So how do I shift and interrupt that pattern before it becomes a personality trait? Because by the way, when it is a personality trait, it's very difficult, way more difficult to interrupt the pattern. It's like addiction. The more addicted you are, and the more you are in the cycle of addiction, the more difficult it is to get out of the cycle.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like I know that when you lead from a place of no, we know that where you point your focus is what you will see. So I want to purchase a Range Rover. All I see on the road are Range Rovers. Every time I see a car, oh, there goes my car. There goes my car. There goes my car, right? When when I first purchased my car, it was white. And it was the first time I owned a white car. And all of a sudden I became present to how many white cars are on the road. And it felt like I was opening my eyes for the first time. So if we know that where we focus is what we become present to and what energy we're allowing in, when our focus is always to the no, the immediate no, then that's the energy that we're putting out into the universe, right? So how do we then, if we know that this is who we are and this has become a pattern? No, I don't think so. That's never going to happen. That's unrealistic. Those are all things that we say, that those are the voices that fill our head.
Life is hard.
Life is
Making money is hard.
Everything is difficult. You have to claw your way to the top. Have you ever heard that one? Ew. Clawing my way to the top sounds terrible. So what is the pattern interrupt to that? How do we see ourselves in the moment and then interrupt that pattern so that we can start to see the positives and the possibility?
So I have a few things that I teach and do myself to interrupt that pattern. And it goes as well, it's very like close to surrendering to the unknown. So how at one point, do you stop to envision the worth, right? And just surrender to the unknown so you can let the things happen and let life force take you over into the beautiful adventure of life, right? Same goes for your business. How do you interrupt that pattern of that's never going to happen? I'm just a loser. No, I'm never going to have like a successful launch. I don't have enough clients and I would never have enough clients. You have to stop yourself. You have to like accept and notice that little voice who because no, I'm not able to do that. This is you listening to society expectations. It's not you being authentically you, because if you were authentically you and closer to the real you will be more intuitive and you won't let anybody, including your mind, including that little Roberto, like your ego. I call mine Roberto. So that's why I said no, it's Ronaldo. It's Ronaldo. Ronaldo, Roberto, very close. I call my ego Roberto, Ronaldo. And when my ego is too loud, I send him back to the beach. But in order to do that, you have to notice the voice. You have to acknowledge that it's here so that you can then shift the attention someplace else. And so, but myself, I do stop and start breathing differently. And when I breathe differently, I change the physiology inside my body, which allow me to get to a new thought easily. And we know that thoughts create feelings. And so from that thought, I can uplift the way I felt, right? Mm-hmm. So the breathing will allow me to think differently, to have to quiet the noise, to quiet that little voice, to quiet society expectation, to quiet society saying to me like, you cannot do that. And sometimes it's not even your ego. Sometimes it's just your husband or someone in your family who say like, no, darling, it's not
unrealistic.
Possible.
Yeah,
absolutely. So breathe through that, acknowledge the voice, and then choose another thought. Choose another thought. You have the choice, no matter what, to quiet that noise, to choose to not listen to the joy killer that is your husband. Or that is your uncle, who, by the way, you never see. Or people don't have the same experience, the same background, the same thought as you do. They don't have the same vision. They cannot see what you see. By breathing, you physiologically going inside your body into a state of being that allow you to think differently. From that thinking, you can uplift the feeling. So frustration, it's not frustration, might not be like joy immediately. But if you can go to a level of neutrality where you're like, whatever, that's when you can like push the balance and just surrender. Whatever, it is what it is, and will create what's meant to create. That state of allowance, of allowing your energy to be, it's going to just help you release all the negative energy, the low vibe energy that is stuck and hold you back. So I breathe, so I change my thought, which change my feelings, and which allow me either to take action, a different inspired action, or to just let it be. There is so much peace, you guys, in just letting things be. I'm going to give you an example. Tonight I was supposed to go to my father-in-law. They invited us to have dinner, and I went to my osteopath today. So an osteopath is someone like a chiropractor, but they use energy as well. So they don't hurt you. They're just like moving slowly and feeling the energy inside your body. But you feel exhausted, even though it's not like huge movement and stuff. You feel exhausted. So I woke up after my power nap, after my meditation. I said I woke up, but it was a power nap meditation. So I raised up and I was like feeling like, I don't want to go. And I don't like when I cancel at the last moment. And so I can so I send a text, I say I cannot come. I can either keep thinking of it until someone is finally replying that's okay. And I can just like thinking of it, and make me feel bad because I just cancel almost last minute. Right? Or I can just like breathe through it, have another thought. I honor myself by doing that. I'm probably honoring my son as well, who's been a piece of shift for the past few days because he didn't want to leave my parents. And just, breathe through that, change my thought, change my feeling. Okay, so now I feel like I made the right decision. So I feel at peace with that decision. And so I can move forward and just let it be. Whether they reply to me or not, it doesn't change the fact that number one, I'm not going to go and I'm going to honor my feelings. And number two, I'm going to feel good because I allow it to be. I accepted the trigger and me feeling like guilty of canceling at the last moment. but then go back to a state of, wait a minute, interrupting the partner. Wait a minute, why is my why here? Am I authentically be myself by doing that? Am I honoring myself and my need at that specific moment? If the answer is yes, then you're allowed to let it be. That same example, and I love giving example of real life, even though we do a lot of business growth, right, Patrice? Because it's really helping you to make the link with your business.
Well, I think that in your life, if you can practice this in your day-to-day in your life, it is an easier transition into your business. One of my sons is exceptionally hard on himself. He is his absolute worst critic, and he is the only one. He always leads with no. It doesn't matter how amazing he did or he said or he was, he could have done better in his own mind. And so we are entering into a phase where he is putting himself out there and presenting himself to various colleges for next year. And so he's always, we look at this college and this college calls, and he'll say, I can't go there. I'm not good enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not big enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not the other. And so the other day, this has been a constant thing for him. He's just a critic in his voice. His inner voice is very difficult. And I said to him the other day, he has a best friend. They've been best friends since they were very, very young, and they advocate for each other. Like, I think we joke around that they're going to get married instead of their girlfriends because they are soulmates. And so I said to him, if the inner voice in your head asked you to go out for a dinner or asked you to go to a party, would you go out with that person? That person who tells you that you're not good enough, that person who tells you that you aren't capable enough, or that you're too short, or that you're too small. Would you want to be friends with the voice inside of your head? And he said, no. And I said, well, the next time that person invites you out to dinner by telling you that you're not good enough, you tell him, thank you very much. I appreciate the offer, but I don't think I'd like to be friends with you. It's a very simple and it's a very tangible way of beginning to interrupt the pattern without having to think about it too much, without putting effort into it and adding it as another task in your list.
I love that. It reminds me, that time where I was like, oh, I'm not good enough for that podcast. I'm not good enough to be in that summit. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing when you listen to that voice is that now it's not about your community anymore, the message that you deliver. You bring that to you. And when you are authentically you and deliver the message that you need to deliver for your business, because I do believe that our community is here for a reason and they have a message to deliver, and they do that pro business, right? It's not about you. So it doesn't matter if you think or someone think that you're not good enough for that podcast. The point is that the message that you want to deliver, you need to deliver, is more important than you. It's not about you, it's about the person who received the message. And trust that when opportunity rises in front of you, it's for a reason. But if you keep yourself on that recording saying like, I'm not good enough, you're not going to even see the endless opportunities in front of you.
Yeah, you're going to miss those major downloads from the universe.
And sometimes you say no, but you don't even know what you say no to.
Fear.
And sometimes you say yes, and the same goes. But you allow life to be, and I'm not saying like you should be a yes person, because obviously you need to set the right boundaries and really like go with your intuition and your feeling and what feels right and what feels wrong, and knowing that, I meant. But despite that, Yeah.
Well, the lesson is to be present. Be present. There is value in that voice. There's value in the voice that tells you, take a pause, because that voice is important. You don't want to completely stifle.
Shut it.
Yeah. But what you want to do is be present to where it's coming from.
Absolutely.
Is this a message that serves? Or is this the message that stifles? So that's the real question.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, I think we're complete for today. We do have a program, a new program that we're going to test. We're going to open the door mid-August, and I think we're going to launch it, like start to give you the content and doing the coaching and stuff on September the 8th. Funding partners, we're looking for 10, at least 10 funding partners for that program. Funding partners means that you have a very special deal, a lot of us, and a lot
I'm
of
super excited about this.
massive lift. So if you guys have a tiny interest to work a little bit more with us at a very, very reasonable price and really helping us to build that new program that we are launching very, very soon, raise your hands and we will be in touch.
I am so excited about this.
And by the way, everything that we talk about, like the cycles, you know, like the way you think, the way you feel, the way of being, and the cycle of that, and the whole patterns, and how you create your destiny and how you activate those quantum leaps in your business, because we're talking about business, but in your life as well. That's exactly what we're going to do with that pre-work program. We called it the pre-work program. So stay tuned, drop a comment if you want some more information. And yeah, that's all I have for today. Are we complete?
We are complete, my love.
Amazing. Mwah.